connect up the two things that I mentioned. On the one hand, trade, because there are pending issues. They've said they're going to look at a 301 action, which is pretty stern stuff for the U.S. government on China with intellectual property, as well as there's the pending steel issue more broadly with 232 on the one hand, and North Korea. Is there a little bit of a quid pro quo going on here?
Well, there's no question there's a lot of frustration with China on market opening for foreign firms. And this administration has put a high priority on how to recalibrate the relationship with a real focus on exports. But they've also been very clear about linking progress on North Korea to the aggressiveness on trade. And there was a lot of talk last week about launching a special 301, which focuses on intellectual property rights. That may still occur, but China's support for action on North Korea, particularly since it's responsible for 90% of trade with North Korea, may buy it a little time in terms of how aggressive the administration is, but there's no question that the administration will still continue to push on market opening for our firms.
Deborah, we hear a lot about various sorts of sanctions going on. How big a deal was it for China, and for that matter Russia as well, to join in the National Security Council, at the United Nations Security Council, to really sanction North Korea?
It was a really important step. The administration was able to get unanimous support for the sanctions. I think there's a lot of frustration with North Korea's continued action, and there has been a lot of pressure by the administration on China to really step up its actions, and quite a bit of frustration. So the fact that it was willing to take this step in supporting additional sanctions, and hopefully there's a lot more going on behind the scenes to get China to move on this. In fact, over the past few months, their trade has been up 10% with North Korea in areas allegedly not part of the sanctions. So there is some flexibility of additional steps that it can take to start to cut off that trade with the regime, keep up the pressure while not bringing down the whole regime.